I'm a little nervous that we only have 30 minutes because we are Pampered Chef and we get chatty.
We do.
Right? All right, so welcome to week 3. Yay, we did it. Hi, gorgeous, handsome.
Good morning.
Face bomb, video bomb. Hi, he's up. My son's not yet. Anyway, did y'all complete your play sheet from last week? You're rock stars. If you didn't, I'm going to give you a pass because of this whole, what I'm calling the Pampered Chef crash of 2015. It's okay, Rachel. You're forgiven. We're all forgiven, right? Anyway, what did you learn about yourself and your business this week? Okay, you guys have all muted yourself. You're supposed to talk to me.
I learned that our customers support us despite all of this.
That's exactly right. What did you learn, Susie?
I learned that our company is amazing at keeping us informed, and they really do care about their consultants and the customers.
That's right. That's right. Very good. What about you, Rachel? I know you're muted. You can talk.
I learned that getting up at 1 a.m. and working the next day are not conducive to a happy nurse.
You are so right.
Again, my customers were supportive, but it was very frustrating.
Yeah.
You
know, I went to bed that morning saying to myself, if only to be a fly on the wall of that IT room at Pampered Chef. They were dripping buckets of sweat. They were probably more stressed than we were, and that gave me peace to think, who am I to get frustrated? Because I think it affected them in probably a much harder way than it did us. And the good news is, as Christina said, our customers love us, love Pampered Chef, and we can turn something good out of it. So anyway, and as a matter of fact, maybe I'll post on this Facebook group some of the things I posted on our team page that I know Christina and Susie have already seen. So do something good with it. There's some positive things that you can make of all this. So anyway, recruiting is a win-win for everybody. So we're going to talk a little bit about how recruiting is a win-win for the new recruit, how recruiting is a win-win for you. We're going to
Cindy, go ahead and
do we have anything? How are you, Cindy? And I love seeing these little faces. It's distracting. I'm a little bit like the squirrel in Up, you know, the dog, you know. What was his name? I don't know. Anyway, I'm a little like that, as you can see. So anyway, let's first talk a little bit about how recruiting is a win for the new consultant signing on. Someone share with me an idea of how it's a win for someone else joining the company.
Income for their family.
That's right. Anybody else?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Friendships.
Ooh, I like that one. Okay. Who else? Some I've heard, maybe access to products at a discount. For some recognition, you know, I don't know, Rachel, who knows how much good recognition you get. You probably deal with a lot of frustrated people, so positive recognition is a great thing. Okay, now let's talk about how recruiting is a win-win for you. Okay, someone? Hi, beautiful. How is recruiting a win for you as the recruiter? How is that a win for you?
I think the friendships on that one, because some of my greatest friendships have come from people on my team that were acquaintances before.
Good. Maybe you earn points towards the incentive trip. Maybe it's the personal satisfaction of helping someone else reach their goals. As a director, I know that I know Christina feels the same way, that when you all have a great show or a great day or do something incredible with your Pampered Chef income, it's an incredible feeling for us as well. You can increase your own earnings by signing people up. You can earn in the new consultant rewards program. You get extra dollars. So to watch a new consultant that you sign up earn that is a pretty exciting thing as well. And you can help someone else move closer to achieving their own goals. So regardless of all that, recruiting is always creates a mutual benefit. That's the whole point behind this. So keep a clear mental picture of how you are helping someone's life to improve when you help them start a pampered chef business. And there's a recording that I listened to with Sharon Zellum. She says on that recording, I am going to change lives tonight. She says that before she goes into every show. And that's something that I try to keep in mind just before I get out of my car. And as I'm, loading up my stuff, I use a rolling cart, to roll up to the door to the host and say, I'm going to change lives tonight. Maybe it's my host. Maybe it's a customer there who's needed a way out of a financial burden. Maybe it's someone who needs a social night out because she's, in the house with babies all day. Or maybe it's someone who's lonely. Maybe it's someone who's in a bad marriage and just needs a joyful night away and a break from her daily life, her daily grind. Or maybe the nurse, who's dealing with wiping other people's noses or, changing sheets and diapers or whatever. Yeah, all day long. That cannot be pleasant. So to go to a show and be able to leave that behind and have a joyful time, you are changing lives tonight. It could be your life you're changing. So keep that in mind as you start your shows. So in this session, we're going to look more closely at how to interview prospects and how to get to the yes. Doesn't that sound exciting? We all want to get to the yes. And that's a scary part of the recruiting process. Because I think we've all discovered that we can probably generate some interest, but what we may have trouble with is getting through the recruiting interview, what to say when someone asks us a question, or what question Stephen asked, and then how do we get them to say, yeah, you know what, you're right. I do want to do this. I'm ready. I'm excited, right? Okay, so first thing you're going to want to know is what kind of recruiting tools. There's a couple things that you can have handy. The opportunity brochure, and you get those in your kit. I think they're called Discover Us. Your Life, Your Way DVD. I'm honest, I don't use a whole lot of Your Life, Your Way DVDs. It's an expense, and I think I know some people who use it with success, but for me, I don't much. I think it's going to be harder for me to get someone to be able to have the time to sit down and plug it in, but it is a recruiting tool. And then the Join Us recruiting booklet. The opportunity call that they do every Tuesday, they have 2 separate times to accommodate different people's schedules. A recruiting slide on the back of your booking slide. And then maybe other materials that maybe directors have passed on to you. The essentials to include in an information packet that Join Us. By all means, give them that. Consultant agreement so they can see that this is really all there is to it. There's some people who think that there's got to be a catch. And I remember one of my very first recruits, actually she was my first director too, when I showed her that, she's like, oh really? That's all there's to it? Bless you, Jackie, I think you sneezed. They were surprised that this was all there was to it, A catalog, they need to see our products. That's the crux of your business, is the catalog. So they need to see what our products are all about, and if that's the way to earn income really is through our products. And then if there's a promotional flyer, going on. So anything else you might want to have with you, perhaps a recent team newsletter, if we have one of those, like maybe the consultant news, dates of upcoming consultant trainings, things like that, okay? So first thing, let's talk about the interview. One of the most important parts of it, and what you're going to be following on this, and you can download it, is the Join Us recruiting booklet, the guide to the Join Us recruiting booklet. That is on your materials when you go to the Step Up program. On your Consultants Corner, you will find that. So if you have not printed that out or don't have it up, don't fret. You can go back and look at that, and you can also do an online training course on the recruiting interview. But we're going to kind of follow a little bit of that. So there's a phrase that says communication is a two-way street. Maybe you guys have heard that, and I don't know what that might mean to you, but what that means is it's a conversation. So we can't be the only ones speaking. As they say many times, you've heard people say God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak. So that's probably the hardest part of this for some of us, me included, is to ask a question and then wait. So remember that it's a two-way street, and you're going to really need to just build rapport. They don't want to know that they're just another member out there and that you're just a hard sell. They don't want to think you're just a hard sell to them. They want to know that you really do care about them, because as we all said in the beginning, it's about friendships, right? From both sides of that street, it's about friendships. So we're going to work on building rapport. So 5 questions. You can write these down or you can download them later, but for me it helps to write because then it's a connection that goes directly to my brain and hand, which is all the way up to your head. So anyway, question number 1, tell me, why did you decide to meet with me today? And even if this is over the phone, they're meeting with you over the phone. Tell me, why did you decide to meet with you today? So think back when you first talked with your recruiter about joining the Pampered Chef, and why did you decide to meet with him or her? Okay. Question number 2, have you ever done anything like this before? In this day and age, there are a lot of direct sell companies out there, so chances are they may have dabbled in one of them already, and maybe they've had a good experience, maybe they've had a bad experience, but ask them, open that door, because you can sometimes draw on that. You'll know their level of experience, I guess I could say, in this line of work. How could you respond if the prospect's experience was positive? Think ahead about how you could do that. It might really help them be successful with Pampered Chef if they've had a positive experience. And if they've had a negative experience, you could start by saying, I'm not really an expert on XYZ company, but I do know about the Pampered Chef, and my experience has been wonderful, kind of a thing. Okay? So ask about their level of experience with this. Question number 3, what other work experiences have you had? As we all know, some of the things that we bring to the table from previous job experiences really helps us in our Pampered Chef. For me, for instance, just because I don't know much about a lot of you except maybe Susie, Christina, and Rachel, I've heard a little bit about. For me, I was a restaurant manager right out of college. So for me, I knew a little bit about food prep. I knew how to hold a knife. I knew how to use a cutting board. I knew about closed-toed shoes. It shows. I don't know if you guys realize that, but that's a sanitation thing, and you really shouldn't wear sleeveless clothing at your shows. It's a sanitation thing. So those are some of the things that I brought from my own personal experience, putting your hair up, you don't want to get food and things. Or your just basic knowledge of washing vegetables, using vegetables, and preparing things, chopping and things like that. As a nurse, about caring for people, about sanitation again as well. You're probably, I don't know, you may have sanitation, what do you call that? Antibacterial gel in your pocket at all times. And you don't touch your face as much and then touch something, So there's different things that you bring. Someone may bring marketing experience. Someone may bring technical experience. Like I know Susie is really great with a technical experience. So you bring different things to the table. So ask what they've done before, because there is always a way to bring that experience in a positive way into their Pampered Chef. Okay. Question number 4, what clubs or organizations do you belong to? Anybody guess why that might be a good question? I know you've all got me muted. You got stuff going on in your there.
All the people that they can invite to a show.
To host their first shows too, right? Because they're wanting to know, is there any bookings out there, right?
Fundraisers.
So what's involved in.
Fundraisers too. Fundraisers.
Ooh, that's a good one.
To see how many people they know that they don't think they know.
Very good. Very good. There's a lot out there. Maybe, and if at some point you may have asked about their kids, because I think we all have kids on here. What other activities are your children involved in? Again, fundraisers, shows to get them started, to let them know that there is business out there, because they all want to know. That's everybody's, where am I going to get my shows? If you ever do the ticket activity at your shows, that's one of the common questions that everybody asks. They want to know, where am I going to get my bookings from? How am I going to do this? I can't bug my friends. How am I going to do this? Okay. Question number 5. I'm curious, how would your family feel about you doing this? Anybody know why that's an important one?
You need a support system.
Yes. Yes. Susie?
Yeah, what kind of support you're going to have.
That's important, because it can put a tremendous load of stress on you if you don't have support around you. If you don't feel like someone is supporting you, you feel like you're an island out there. Why am I bothering? Is it really worth my efforts if no one's going to support me? So all great ways to and to have them come over some of these obstacles, because these are all 5 of these questions could be some of the obstacles that you're going to come into while you're talking to these people. Okay, so We've learned that when people are considering the Pampered Chef opportunity, there are really just 3 questions they're going to ask themselves. So let's look at each of the 3 questions that will help get your prospect to yes. Okay, we've talked about the rapport. You're going over the recruiting booklet through this, and again, do the online course and download the guide to using it. And I think it's a great recruiting tool to see you using it, because then they know that they're not having to figure this out on their own. They're like, oh my gosh, she's an expert. I could never do what she's doing. It's so easy, and Pampered Chef gives you everything. I'm such a proponent of using what the company gives you. So keep that in mind. Okay, so we've got 3 questions that are going to be going through their heads, and they probably went through your head before you started. Number 1 is, could this work for me? And then someone answer me, what helped you answer this question with a yes? Buddy. No one has a reason.
I think reflecting on back of where their work experiences and stuff, that's, you know, I can tie that into how this could help, how this would work for them.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I like that. Thank you, Cindy. Could this work for me? What helped me answer that? You know what? For me, it was someone telling me that they knew I could do it. They gave me the confidence and said, I believe in you. Susie, don't go away. Say it again.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Someone that thought you could do it and had the same type of personality as you, it really makes it easy.
True. Because we all have that insecurity thinking, I can't. Believe it or not, my fear was talking in front of people. I never expected to be able to talk to people. I had a computer job kind of a thing, you know. I sat with numbers and I was in accounting, you know. I never thought I could talk to people. Lord knows I can't shut up now. The second question they're going to ask, is there help available? Right? Because again, they're going to think, how am I going to do this? Throughout the interview, you're providing groundwork for a yes for that. You know, what concerns do you hear most of the people that you've interviewed? Anybody gone through lots of interviews and some of the concerns? Or maybe what did you most want help with when you started? Maybe that.
Time. I wanted help with time. I'm way busy, and I get that. But I'm rebuttaling that one a lot. I don't have any time.
Let's help answer that. What did you answer to that with everybody?
Well, when I said that to Nicole, she said, you know, the busiest people make the best consultants. Think about how many people you know in all those areas. And I'm like, oh, you're right. So I do that same thing, and people are like, oh, you're right.
Very good.
My response is, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
That is so true. And don't you really believe that, Rachel? I know you didn't just say that. I think you really believe it, don't you?
I really do. I work full-time, I go to school full-time, I have a family, and I do direct sales. So if I can do all that, anybody can time manage. And you know what? If I have to go buy you a planner and you put down your times, you still can do it, I promise. You just have to set the times aside, just like with anything else.
That's right. If it means, you know what, and that's why, too, one of the first things they always talk about with us is get to their why they want to do it. Because if it matters enough to them, they'll find the time in their day to do it. They'll find the time in their schedule in their life to do it. If it matters enough to them. You know, for me, I really wanted all the products. That was truly my big why. I wanted all the products, and I knew I couldn't afford to buy them, so I needed to make it work, you know. Very good. Okay, and then our third question is, do I want to do this? Every single person asks themselves this crazy question. And doesn't it make perfect sense that if they're already asking themselves this question, then it's easy for you to ask too by simply popping the question. All right, so, you know, at this point, you can say, are you ready to get started? You know, or I've heard people say, when do you want your first commission check? For me, I don't jump into that. I just say, so what do you think? You ready to get started? You ready to join me in this journey? You know, and I just kind of move forward with that. Some say, would you like to be part of the Pampered Chef? Some say, what do you want? When do you want to schedule your grand opening? Those are just some of the ways you can ask. But make it something that's comfortable and relatable to the conversation you just had. Then it won't sound like a canned speech. Because you guys just have been spending, you know, 15, 20 minutes talking to this individual, you know, then you can say, well, you know, are you ready to start making a little more income to get that car we just talked about? Are you ready to start working on, family vacation for you? Are you ready to start working on your, mental therapy that Pampered Chef's going to provide for you? Whatever it is. You can ask, but you have to then pop the question. You have to invite people to join you. And that's really what that is the invitation to join. You can't just go through this conversation and walk away and think, well, I'm going to wait for them to just ask me. You have to invite them. Okay, so you have to work on popping that question. Okay, so we've got just a few minutes left. I'm going to talk a little bit about our game plan. Well, actually, I think I have a little enough time for some questions. Does anybody have questions for me?
Hey, this is Kristi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, ladies. I'm sorry I couldn't see your faces this morning. I'm driving right now. But I wanted to say on recruiting, my biggest thing with recruiting, as the ones who are on my team know, is relationships and not forgetting. You have to continuously follow up with people through the months, through the years, and not give up on them. And that's how you're going to successfully grow and build your team. Ask anyone, especially Rachel. She was a 3-year project for me, and now she's on the call with us. So I just give that little tip of advice. Don't give up. They tell you, I'm too busy right now. If there's interest there, keep talking about the interest throughout the years to come.
And thank you, Kristi. That is so true. And that kind of goes back to the very first thing we talked about with rapport, and we all talked about relationships. Don't give up, is what Kristi is saying, because each one of these people that you meet, they could be a host, they could be a customer. Keep your relationship, keep going through the newsletter, sending them on your newsletter, following up with them. If they're the host that does a show every year, one of my #1 consultants, Stephanie Briggs, I did shows with her once or twice a year for 15 years before she joined me. Paul Ann, again, did shows with her every year for 10 years before she finally joined with me. And she was with another direct sale company at the time, but kept in contact with her and just kept asking. And you say, and if they say, no, I'm not interested, you can always say that, that no, not now, or no, not ever. I'm like, I just think no right now. And I always say too, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here when you're ready. And I think that gives them the security too, and it builds your loyalty. And they know that you're not just there for, well, if you don't want to sign with me right now, then I want nothing to do with you. This is about relationships. We really all established that. You all said that word first, that it's all about relationships on both sides of the coin. So you have to keep that in mind and on the forefront. So the play sheet for session 3 is we're going to make 3 contacts a day. You guys are going to have to keep up with that. That's a very important thing. And I think this week, as we all saw with the, this winter blowout sale, just how interested people can get when you really keep communication with them. And I think we all established a pretty good daily communication level with our customers about just reaching out. And we actually have a great tool to reach out to them now. And I'm sorry, that the winter blowout didn't go as planned for all of us. I could still offer you some really deep discounts, and I'd love to be able to help you with that. This is a great time to de-stress by having our wine tasting party. I've got a great wine tasting party. Let's just wash our blues away from the week and have a great party. I'll serve a little chocolate, do a little cheese ball. We'll have a little fun and get to know each other and hang out, right? And share some discounts. If you want, you can even put some of your own things on discounts. If you have a few products on your shelf, have your own little blowout sale and sell things at a discount, Make those contacts and share some of those ideas. Go do that online course, the recruiting interview. In that course, they're going to teach you how to use that booklet like what we just reviewed. I strongly believe in that. I believe in the materials that the company puts together. So I think we need to go through that. And give out 5 information packets. We talked a little bit about what to put in the information packet earlier. Really, it's a join us, or discover us, excuse me. Just a simple little recruiting thing that comes in your kit. You get a bunch of them in your kit. Maybe the agreement, and I put in a monthly special because it's designed to generate questions. Don't feel like you have to give them every single piece of material they have on the Pampered Chef that answers all their questions, because then they have no need to have an interview with you. You know what I mean? You want them to be able to one-on-one speak with you. And if you give them all the answers right up front, they're going to make that no before you ever give them a chance to learn why they should say yes. You know what I'm saying? And then schedule follow-up interview or call. And I know each one of us directors would be happy to do that with you. We're more than happy to sit down with you. Personally, I like the one-on-one, face-to-face in a restaurant. I like to sit down, give them a cup of coffee and a Danish or something like that, and just spend the time talking to them, because it really is all about relationships. You can read their body language that way, not just hear the intonation in their voice over the phone, but to actually be with them in person. And then they know that they mean more to you than just a quick little phone call while you're someplace else. And if that just can't happen for distance reasons, then that's okay too. All right. Players, tips for the recruiting interview. These are some ideas to help you win at the interview. During that interview, take the time to start a list of potential hosts and recruits. Okay, very, very important. Go ahead, and because then that's going to give them the confidence to know, oh, I do have a business. Oh, I do have people that I can contact. And you might even want to make some of those contacts right there with them. You know, so we've all got cell phones now. Just pick up the phone and start that process right now, because you can always ask, who have they already thought to ask that for their first shows? Believe me, they've already thought of it. They already have. And they may just be hesitant to think that that's even a good idea. You've got to validate their ideas and their thoughts already, because I'm pretty sure they're already rock stars. Tell the truth about expectations. You know, here's what you can expect from the Pampered Chef and me. You know, our home office provides free training, fun promotions, plenty of communication. But most of all, I want you to know that I'm committed to you and your success. I hope you feel that all of us directors are committed to you and your success. Why else would we all get up this early on a Saturday morning, right? Here's what I can expect from you. This is really important, to set those expectations, and this may help us not have kidnappers. Here's what I can expect from you: to set goals so we know what to focus on, to come to meetings, and more importantly, to stay connected. It's my responsibility to help you get what you want from this business. And the best way to do that is for us to be in regular contact. It's normal that some things will go great, and you'll also encounter some challenges along the way. We're all in this together. And if you're not comfortable saying that it's my responsibility, to say, my director is amazing. She will help me help you, because no one's in this alone. Okay, we're all doing this together. Okay. I thought I was going to see somewhere where it told me how much time I had left. According to my clock, I have a minute. I don't know where we are. If anybody has one final question, I hear for you. Look, I'll take my glasses off. Not that I can see you, but I feel like I look better. Any questions? Comments? All the God bless yous. I saw some sneezes along the way. Yay! How'd I do for my first one? Man, I practiced setting lights around me so I didn't look like I was in a cave. This is the weirdest thing. I know. You're laughing at me, Rachel. It's true. I'm a wacko. I have to do it.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. I'm showered.
I'm not.
I get up at 5:30 for you guys. I'm going to go nap. I don't know about you, but I'm going to nap.
I saw your post this morning. I was laughing so hard. I got called into the OR. I didn't think I was going to get home in time. I'm still in my scrubs.
Oh, I love it.
So I saw your post. I was like, why is she up? I had to be up. She didn't have to be up.
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I wasn't good.
My first brownie pan concoctions, the gluten-free. It's like a ham cheese omelet, but without like the breading and stuff.
Oh, we need virtual eating. Feed that through your camera.
What's your address?
Yeah,
We'll be there in 10.
And I made a pancake with the skinny dip, and I'm putting strawberries and bananas on top of it.
Look at her go.
I have a hostess tomorrow that's a little more health conscious, so I didn't want to do the typical, omelet crap.
You go, girl. And of course,
Nice.
What's your address?
first. Practice first.
You need taste testers, right?
Let's see if it tastes good.
Go ahead, take a bite. We'll watch. I love it. You guys are amazing. You fire us up. I don't know if you realize that, but you fire us up. I love it. This is so cute. Yay, we don't do more than.
Thank you, Bobbi Lynn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bobbi.
Also, okay? So we'll be ready to do it again next week.
All right.
Get your
Have
smile
a great
on.
week.
Get your smile on. Ooh, I'm done.
You have 10 more minutes.
That's done early.
10 minutes. Holy
10
moly.
more minutes.
Wow. Okay, do we really want 10 minutes, or are you guys ready to go eat breakfast? How did I do that?
I promised my kid a donut if he behaved, so I'm headed to 7-Eleven.
You go. Enjoy this blustery day out there.
It's nasty out. Be careful.
I know. All right, you guys rock. Have a Great day.
Bye.
Bye.